Hello, welcome to I Love Making Pretty Things. My name is Amanda and I love making pretty things. I would like to welcome you to my very first craftcast. I think that's what I'm going to call it, a craftcast. Because I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a whole lot of things that I rabbit hole down to that I think I want to try and then it doesn't work out for me. But all you crafters, y'all know how it gets. This is me. This is me after a whole day of work and it's 6:30 at night and I have no idea what we're having for dinner, haven't started dinner. And I said, I need to make a video because I keep putting it off and saying, I'm going to start it, and I never start it. So here I am. I'd like to go a brief introduction of who I am. Again, my name is Amanda. I do live in the United States in Indiana. I have 4 children ranging from the ages of 30 to 19 on Friday. She'll be 19 on Friday. And we have 4 dogs, 2 cats, and I have 2 grands. I have a 10-year-old and a wee little itty bitty baby. She's about 12 weeks old. And she's in the NICU, but she is doing well. She's going strong. And I can't wait to put my hands on that little thing. What I wanted to do this channel for was, okay, first off, I have notes. I have notes today. I can't say that I'm going to have notes every single time, but if you do see me looking down, I want to make sure I cross all of my T's and dot all my I's and say everything that I wanted to say in this first initial video. So first off, I wanted to tell you who I was. I also wanted to explain my reasoning for wanting to do the channel. I don't know about you guys, but at the end of the year, okay, today is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. So at the end of the year of 2023, you start, watching everybody's videos and, they have their year wrap up and all the things and what their goals are going to be for the following year. And I started thinking about, I didn't really make that much. I don't really have much to show except for that. And, oh, I forgot about that. And, oh yeah, there's that thing, all the things, all the little things that you forget about. So really what I wanted to do was have a video diary, video journal, if you will, of everything that I'm making. So that way I could go back to say, oh yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. That's what I did. I am horrible about keeping notes about what I have done. However, this year I do have a new journal. I should have brought it with me to show you, but I will next time. I have a journal and I want to really try to be a little more diligent about tracking everything that I'm done. Whether it be finished objects or work in progress. Either way. I also would like to give a very, 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 very heartfelt thank you to Rebecca at Yarn and Pajamas podcast. If y'all haven't seen her, go over and check her out. I am going to do my darndest to get links in the description box below. Again, this is my first craftcast, so bear with me. So I might not do things right. We'll rabbit hole, just so you know. We'll go down all the rabbit holes and come back around and talk with my hands. So Rebecca over at Yarn and Pajamas, thank you so very, very much for giving me that extra little nudge off the ledge that I needed. I have been thinking about doing a channel for probably better part of a year. So I just reached out to her and I said, hey, what do you think? Do you think it's something I should do? Should I not do? And she said, girl, do it. Do it. You'll love it. You'll love it. So I am super excited to be part of this yarny, crafty community. As far as what kind of crafts you will see, I do everything. Basically anything you see on Pinterest, I'm like, girl, I got that. I'll do that. I don't need to go and buy that. I can make it myself, right? We all know. Y'all know how that goes. So anyway, so I'm going to talk about all the kind of crafts that you will see on this channel. I do a little bit of everything. I love to do yarn, knitting, and crochet. Crochet is my all-time favorite, and I'll tell you why. I can be lazy when I do crochet. I can sit with my feet propped up in my recliner at the end of the night, on the nights and the weekends, and binge watch something on TV, but I feel like I'm being productive, because my hands are working. I'm making something. So I don't feel quite so bad about spending 5 hours crocheting. or knitting. I don't knit as fast as I crochet, and I need that instant gratification, so I prefer crochet. However, you're going to see also I have paper crafts, Cricut projects, sublimation projects, epoxy resin projects, sewing projects, and that is because I am no seamstress. I can make something and it'll look okay-ish, but I am no seamstress by any sense of the imagination. My grandmother was. She was a fantastic seamstress, and she probably is turning over in her grave watching me do some of the things that I do that are not right. But I do it anyway. So, let's get right into it. So that's pretty much what my channel is going to be about. That's what you're going to see here. Again, I talk with my hands. I talk fast. I'm trying to tell myself, put my hands down, talk slower. I will try to be very cognizant of that and make sure that I'm trying to slow down. Anyway, let's get into it. So my first thing I'm going to say is finished pretties to show. I'm not going to call them finished objects because I don't love making objects. No, I love making pretty things. So I'm going to call them my pretties. Now, I can't say 100% that I took credit for that, because if y'all ever watch Miss Kelly over at Crochet Ma for Life, she calls her items finished pretties. So I kind of got the little idea from her, but I thought, hey, it worked out well. So Miss Kelly, I hope you don't mind. And I hope you're doing good, girl. I haven't seen you for a while. Just want to let you know, blowing kisses at you, thinking of you. So anyways, so my finished pretties. So I'm going to start with my Advent. Now, I did my very first real Advent. Like, I bought an Advent set of soup. Now, I am not a fancy yarn type of a girl. You know, I'm basic yarn, craft store yarn, big box stores. Basically, anywhere where I can have them ship the yarn to my house and I don't have to go out in public, I'm all for it. Because again, revert back to the lazy comment before, I just prefer just to be home and crocheting. If I'm out shopping for the yarn, that's taken away from my crochet time. And while I'm resting my wrists and my hands during my crochet-a-thon, I can use it to shop for yarn. I'm not wasting any time. Don't waste time. But anyway, so this year, I decided to do two different things. I did my own DIY Advent, and wouldn't you know, I forgot to bring them upstairs. Oh, by the way, I am upstairs in my craft room that's about 10 by 10, and things are just smashed in wherever. I've got, you know, a bunch of yarn back here, behind you over there. I've got more yarn. I've got plush yarn over there. I've got vinyl on the walls, glitter on the walls, containers and cabinets and printers and all the things that we all need, because I might need it one day. I don't know when, but I might need it one day, so I cannot get rid of it. So, anyway, so I'm upstairs, and I just realized that I did not bring my first Advent project with me upstairs, so I guess I'll just have to show that to you next time. But real quickly, I'll tell you, I was late to the Advent scene this year. It was about Thanksgiving when I decided that I think I might want to do it. So I decided to make my own DIY. And I just took just random balls of yarn from my stash. And I did weigh out anywhere from 25 to 50 grams per little cake. And I wound them all up. And I put them in brown, very, very, very sophisticated over here at I Love Making Pretty Things. Because I put it in a brown paper sack, lunch sack. Threw some tape on it, put it in a Panda Express to-go bag, you know, the paper bags that you get your to-go food in, put it in that. And then every day, actually I had my husband, most of the days, either my husband or my grand number one, go and pick out my yarn of the day. And I did really well. You know, I love that so much. It was so exciting to do that. I loved it. I loved it so much that I was crocheting ahead. And I got that thing done. I did 24 days. And yes, I did 24 days. And I got that done probably about the 18th or 19th. Because I loved it. And it was just a granny, a V shawl. That's all it was. But I just wanted something kind of cozy to wrap around myself. But anyway, I'll show you all that next time, because this, fat lot of good it's going to do you to hear me talk about something and then not show it to you. So we'll talk more about that later. But I got my first real Advent. I ordered it. I was so excited to get it. I purchased this on Etsy, and it was from a shop called Potions and Pearl, P-U-R-L, or it might be Pearl and Potions. I'll try it when I'm editing. I will put it on the screen what the actual name is. But her yarn is gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But she had an Outlander Inspired 12-day Advent, and I thought, well, since I was late to the game, because again, it wasn't until after Thanksgiving that I decided to go ahead and do this Advent, I just went ahead and ordered the 12-day. I'm typically not a sock weight yarn knitter or crocheter. I have knit socks. I'm just not, I don't have a lot of fine yarn that I work with, but I have some, and I'm trying to do better about working for it. But it's a sock weight yarn. It is 85-15. It's an 85-15 blend. Oh, y'all, it is so super squishy and just so, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. So the pattern that I did, it took me a long time to figure out what I was going to do, but I decided on the Let's Just Feel Festive Shawl by Kalisha Ryan. If you haven't checked out her patterns, you need to, because her pattern is $1. It's $1, and it is fantastic. And I love this shawl. It's so super squishy, and it's granny stitch. And so all I was able to do was just sit and do my granny stitch, again, with my feet propped up and all comfortable. But these are just they're so beautiful. They are so beautiful. So the Just Feels Festive shawl is worked on the bias. So what happens is, if you haven't seen it, again, I'm late to the game on this as well. Since it's worked on the bias, you end up with a finished pretty that is at a diagonal, and it is so beautiful. But all of these colors, it's just fantastic. It is absolutely beautiful. And again, I didn't have really any problems. Okay, I'm sorry. I am going to work on where I need to be at in the frame. I will get better, I promise. So but yeah, here's all of the beautiful colors. I did wear this yesterday. I started it probably, I don't know, about 14th, 15th, something like that. And I just finished it over the weekend. I have a major case of start-itis. I start things, and then I start things, and then I finish some things, but then I'm starting like a bazillion other things, and I just need to focus on getting something done and complete. That's never going to happen. I mean, it's just, again, my mind is just like blah, 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 all over the place. Just like this video is going to be all over the place. But yeah, so this is my Just Feel Festive shawl from Kalisha Ryan. Beautiful, beautiful pattern, beautiful yarn. I mean, and it's so super squishy. I really don't know the best way to wear it. Now, I wore it. It's going to look super fab with this blazer on, but I just kind of wrapped it around my shoulders, kind of like that, and then did a low little the little loop-de-loo just to kind of wear it around my shoulders, yesterday, just because I wanted to show off all of the pretty colors and how that they were all at the diagonal. It was fantastic. Fabulous. So yes, if you haven't checked out this pattern, again, I'm very late to the game, but it is fantastic. I would like to thank Allie over at Little Drops of Wonderful, because she's actually the one that has spoke so highly of this. That's the reason why I went and checked it out. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Allie was my inspiration for doing my other Advent that I didn't bring up here. That was the granny shawl, because she has that, as she has shown several times on her channel. And I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So thanks, Allie. And again, if you haven't checked her out, fabulous, fabulous. So on to the next thing. So the next finished object I have is I made this blanket. This blanket has been on the go for quite a while because I ran out of yarn. First off, I used a hook way too small. I don't know why, but I was using worsted weight yarn, and I used a 4.5. I must have been smacked with a stupid stick that day, because why on earth would I ever choose a 4.5 for worse. I think maybe I had just finished up with some amigurumi or something. That's the only thing that I can come up with. So anyway, so I started this. So naturally I ran out of yarn because I was using a smaller hook. So the stitches are tighter. So I waited and waited and waited, and I'm like, maybe I'll just find complementary colors in my stash that I can put with it. And then I thought, no, I'm just going to go ahead and order. So I had to order new to finish off. But this is made with the Red Heart Super Saver. I believe it's in Tutti Frutti. Fruity Stripe. That's what it is. It's Red Heart Stripes Fruity Stripe. But this is just a granny rectangle. Granny rectangle. And it's all... Again, I'm going to have to do better or figure out a better way of being able to show you this stuff. Now, I'm going to point this out here, okay? This right here, this is the kind of crafting that I do, okay? See this line right here? Now, you won't see it right up here because it wasn't until I got from the middle all the way, until the last 4 rows that I decided, I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that line there. What I was doing is I was being very diligent on every round to turn it so I wouldn't get all cattywampus with my finished pretty. So I was turning it. How I ended up turning it middle of the row, I'll never know. But that's what I did. And I can't be bothered to pull it all out by the time I saw that there was a noticeable line. It is what it is. Okay. It's a blanket for my daughter, the 19-year-old. She's just going to throw it on her bed. She's going to take it to her, to college next year, or not. I don't know, but I love the colors. I mean, this is my color palette for sure. I love, my favorite color is orange. Very close second is yellow because it is super bright and fun. But yeah, and, I think I ended up putting, oh gosh, I think I put 9.5 skeins of yarn in it. So it's pretty heavy actually. So I know when I was finishing up on it, I was like, man, this thing is getting heavy. So I'm going to take a sip of my water. I am drinking hot water because I find that much more palatable than cold water. So drinking hot water out of a cup that I made. So it says, sometimes I like coffee more than people. And I just made that out of resin and put, coated it with epoxy, put alcohol inks on it, let it get all, so it's supposed to look like a coffee cup that has just put creamer in it. So yeah, that's kind of cute. Yeah, I made that a couple of years ago. So, but it's just hot water, plain old hot water. So sorry for the reach and the bang. Got me banged. So those are all no, that is not all I have for a finished pretty. Let me show you. Okay, now I also do some amigurumi. Okay, so I'm not doing just blankets, not doing just, I'm starting dabbling in the amigurumi. So this poor little thing, let me show you this little thing, this little gal here, okay? See her head's all cattywampus and what you can't see. Look at her foot. It's all cocked out to the side. And I started making this for my gran. He's 10 years old. And he loves dinosaurs like every other 10-year-old boy, loves dinosaurs. And I was visiting, I have family in Arizona. And I was visiting, and my niece, who is 15, she has gotten into crochet, and she's been doing a lot of amigurumi because she had her very first market. But I'm also going to link her Instagram below. Go over and check her out. She's fabulous. I mean, this 15-year-old girl, she's got, this is what I'm going to do, and she, made a bunch of amigurumi. She had her very first market. She was did very well at it, but it was great. But anyway, so we had a crochet day, and the crochet day, we made this little thing right here. And like I said, I started making it for my 10-year-old gran, but then I looked at her, and since I can't really put her up now, she's just cattywampus, she's just cattywampus, but she looks a little sassy. That's what I said. I said, well, I'm going to call her. First off, I got to keep her because she's got a kicked out leg and a head that goes like that and tail that goes like that. But she's cute in her own way. It's kind of like she's so ugly, she's cute. But I'm like, she looks a little sassy. So I'm going to call her Sassafras. So this is Sassafras. Now, this was made with Premier Parfait Chunky in, I believe the colorway is lime. I totally could be making that up, but I do know it's Parfait Chunky. So this is where I started dabbling into the little world of amigurumi, but this is for me. So I kept Sassafras. I still need to make my 10-year-old Gran his own dinosaur, but Sassafras stays with me, and she sits on my desk at work every day, except for today. I brought her home to show you. So the other finished pretties that I have is, I started the blanket that I made for my daughter. We started out doing granny squares. I was going to do her a granny square blanket, and she had chose fall colors until she saw that yarn, that Red Heart stripe yarn, that she was like, I want that yarn, because that's her color palette as well. But I have started out making granny squares, and I have a good bit done. I'm just going to reach here. So I have all of these here that are completed, and then these, they're finished. I just have to put in my ends, tuck in my ends. But they've been sitting here, and I'm like, what am I going to do with these? Because I love these, again, oranges, yellows, fall colors, really. That's my thing. But some of these are, super cute. I think they're super cute. So I thought what I would do is put them together and make a scarf. Maybe I could just make me a little granny square scarf. Because I think I have enough of them. I don't necessarily think I would want to make a bag. I know I could make a bag with them. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna, I love this one. I really love this one. A couple more here. And y'all seen granny squares, but I just love those colors. I love those colors. So I think that's going to make me I think I'm going to make a scarf with that. And I will wear that scarf in the dead of winter. It doesn't matter if it's not fall. I will wear that scarf and I will love it. I'll rock it. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do with that. So those are my finished pretties. So I have a couple of works in progress going on. But for whatever reason, no, let me rephrase that. I have a lot of works in progress. Pretties in progress. I have a lot of pretties in progress. But I only brought 2 with me today to show you. First off, I am working on a blanket for my sister. I'm hoping we are going to visit her in a couple of weeks. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I can get it done by then. It's made out of chunky yarn, so it's working up rather quickly. But this is her color palette. She loves, and forgive me, I have not woven in all of my ends. I may not have done any, quite honestly. But this is made out of, this here is Bernat Softy. I don't know. It's a Bernat Chunky. And then this is just the green and the orange is just a worsted that I'm holding double so I can get work it up. And it's actually it's going really well. I mean, I just started it. Of course, I can't see, how far. I mean, I would say it's probably a good maybe quarter of the way done already. And I just started it over the weekend, so it's working up rather quickly. So I'm hoping to get that done in the next, like I said, couple of weeks, because we're going to see them. So hopefully I'll be able to give it to her. So that is that blanket work in progress. And the other work in progress I have is going to be, okay, timeout. We're going to rabbit hole. So you remember earlier when I said I also do sewing? This is a perfect example of my sewing. So this bag, I started making a boxed bottom notions pouch. Maybe a project bag, probably. But here's my problem. Okay, here's my problem. And I do this with a lot of stuff. I'm horrible about doing this with recipes, but especially when I'm watching videos or whatever. You should watch a video all the way through, right? Because as the tutorial is going, it's going to explain things and show things, but the creator might later on insert or add something at the end that said, oh, I wish I would have done this, or if I would have done that. So that's what you should do. That's not what I do. No. That would make my life too easy if that is what I did. what I do is I start watching a video. I'm like, I got this. And I start cutting things out. And then I'm like, oh, I've got extra of this, but not enough of this and too much of that. And somehow I ended up with a square and I should have had a rectangle. And that whole measure twice, cut once, that's for amateurs. So that's the kind of stuff that happens, right? And so then I'm going along, trucking along, sewing it up, and then it says you got to do this, and I said, that's not what they mean. She doesn't mean that. What she really means is to go do this. So then I go rogue. And then what happens when I go rogue is I end up with something like this, okay? Now, it's serving its purpose, okay? It is a project bag. It is holding a project, which is what I meant for it to be. I did not mean for it to be whatever shape this is. So it's large at the top, and it just kept getting in its skinnier. I don't know. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I was like, this isn't turning out right. And instead of stopping and ripping something out and redoing it, I just keep on going. Unless it's something that really, really, really bothers me. And especially if it's something for me, I can't be bothered to rip it back and redo it. That's too much. That's too much. So anyway, I ended up with this, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm ever going to use it for, but you know what? I am using it for something now. But here's the thing. I put a zip in, no problem. Zippers, they don't intimidate me. No. Apparently, cutting the fabric and cutting it correctly and following simple directions, that's the part that I struggle with. But anyway, we got a finished project bag. The end product, we got it. I like to call that my dodgy bag, like Allie over at Little Drops of Wonderful likes to call her bags, the dodgy bags. I don't even think this is dodgy. I don't even think this would pass for a dodgy bag. It is a bag. Anywho, it is holding another work in progress that I have, and it just got tangled on my ring. But this was my Christmas Day cast on. Is it casting on if you're crocheting? I mean, it's not hooking on or starting. I think casting on sounds much better. So I'm going to call it my Christmas crochet cast on. I am using, this is a yarn that my sister-in-law from Arizona, she gifted me. And it is a one weight. It is another fine yarn. So here I said, oh, I don't work with fine yarns, and now I'm showing you two things that I'm working with. So this is from Hobby Lobby. It is Yarn Bee, and again, forgive me, I'm trying to figure this out. I don't even know. This might be flip-flop backwards. I don't know, but when I'm watching it back and editing, I'll know, and if I need to do better next time, I will, because y'all, I've been going for a half hour already, and I'm not restarting because it's 7:15 and I need to get dinner going. But this is Yarn Bee, and it is a one weight yarn. But I'm just going to do this whole cake. It's a beautiful cake. It is so pretty. I just love the colors. I love it, love it, love it. So she gifted this to me, and I decided for my Christmas cast on, I was going to do another granny shawl. And it's just, you know, I'm using a small, well, let me look at my janky craft bag. Project bag, and I'll tell you what. No, I guess I can't. Oh my goodness. So I'm using for this a 4.5, and so the stitches, I like it. I wanted it to be a little drapey, so I know a 4.5 is probably a little big for this, but I wanted to have a little bit of drape, but yet still be a little dainty. So yeah, I'm starting out with that. I haven't really worked on it a whole lot because I'm trying to get the blanket done, and you know, it's Christmas and holidays and all the things, so it was trying to get all that done. But that is my Christmas crochet cast on that I have all of this yarn going crazy. Let me shove it in here. So that is my pretty in progress. That's my, a couple of my pretties in progress. Oh my gosh, it just got stuck on my yarn. Yeah. So those are a couple of my pretties in progress. So those are a couple of my pretties in progress. I have many, many more, but I won't try not to bore you with all of them. So the other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was my future pretties, like a couple of things that, is on my radar, like I want to maybe do in my mind. I have quite a few crochet, specifically amigurumi books. So I really want to get into making a few more of those. I have the Crochet Imkin. Again, it would have made more sense for me to bring the books up here to show you, but here we are. Rookie mistake. But the Crochet Imkins, I did crochet one of those, and it's adorable. It's adorable. So I would like to make another Imkin. I also have a book, Crochet You, that my 5-year-old niece has picked out a pattern of a little doll that she would like for me to create for her that looks like her. So I have very specific instructions to have, right down to the color of hair, the color of the shoes. It's all important. So she has that all very specific information. It is the other thing that I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. One of my coworkers wore a black sheep sweater. And the story is, it was Princess Diana wore that in, I think it was like 1982. And it was a red sweater with little white sheep all over, except for one random black sheep. And anyway, so my coworker wore a replica of that, and I thought that was so stinking cute. I'm like, I need to have one of those in my life. Again, I don't want to pay for it, but I could probably make that. So I found a pattern. Sure enough, I found the pattern. So I'm thinking about doing that this year, having that be my 2024 project of making that, knitting that black sheep sweater. We'll see if that happens. Really, that's about all I have on my radar of things that I want to do. Give me some time. Wait till I see some of y'all on YouTube, and then I'll have a whole lot more that I want to be wanting to do. A whole lot more. That's what always happens. As far as any other crochet or craft goals that I have for 2024, not really any. I'm not going to set myself up for failure, because that was exactly what happened. I for darn sure am not going to say I'm not going to buy any yarn, because not happening. I mean, I can't put another ball of yarn in this room, but I'll buy more. I won't have a place to put it, but I'll buy more. I did have one personal New Year's resolution. My New Year resolution was to, I am a creature of habit. And I say that meaning I read the same book or listen. I do listen audiobooks quite frequently, but I listen to the same book over and over, and I read the same book over and over, or the same series or the same author. And I really don't branch out. So my personal goal for 2024 is to read or listen to at least one book, one new book every month. It's only 12. That's 12 new books. That should not be that difficult to do. And when I say new, I mean maybe a new author, maybe a new genre, maybe a new something different, because I just really feel like I would really like to work on that. Another thing that I want to do for 2024, and I just saw Rebecca over at Yarn and Pajamas talking about this in her wrap up for 2023, was I'm going to start collecting my ball bands for everything that I've done for the year. So I'm going to get a little zippy bag, and I'm going to start putting all my ball bands in it, just so I can have a visual, so I can see, oh, this is how much I actually did. So I like that idea. So I am going to start doing that. So other than that, those are really my only two goals, resolutions, whatever, because anything else, I'm still going to be fat in 2024. I'm not going to be financially, I'm not going to have money falling from the sky in 2024. It's just going to be the same old, same old. But that's okay. I am totally fine with that. So anyway, I think that pretty much wraps it up. My goodness, it's going to have to wrap it up because, again, we are pushing almost 40 minutes and my husband is probably hungry. I'm surprised I haven't heard him. So I do want to have in every one of my episodes what I'm going to call quirky question. Quirky question meaning just some random question, because this is the kind of stuff I do at work. And I'm like, hey, because this is how my mind works. What do you do? How is that? Cindy over at the Roomy Mill actually asked on one of her videos about the toilet paper. Are you an over or under? Team over or team under? Even though she's wrong and she said she's team over, we'll let it slide. She can be right in her world. Just wrong in everyone else's. But that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, even though it's wrong. But that's okay. Today, what would my question be for today? I don't want to use the toilet paper one because that's already been done. What would my quirky question of today be? I think I'm going to go with, do you reuse your towels? Meaning when you get out of the shower, will you hang it up and reuse it again? Or are you a one and done type of person? Personally, I reuse my towel. I guess the second part of that question is how many times? If you reuse your towel, how many times do you reuse it? I don't even count how many times, if I'm going to be honest. Because that's what we're going to do. This is a no judgment zone here. No judgment zone. I just use a towel until, like, maybe it might start smelling a little funky. And you're like, okay, time to switch it out. But anyway, leave your answer to my quirky question about the towel down below, because I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear about anything else from you guys, and give me some feedback. Again, this is my first video. I'm probably all over the place, and I'm fidgety, and my hands go all over, and I know I constantly touch my glasses, and I know my earrings are jiggling. I took my bracelet off because that was really jiggling. But I'd like your feedback, and let me know what you think. And I cannot wait to do another video. I'm not sure how often I'm going to put videos out. It'll just be whenever the mood strikes. So I will do that. But I will see you all again for sure. I'd like to say to all of my new friends and old, just remember, you're the only one in this world, so be the very best one you can be. Bye-bye.